Hi, I'm Dr. Drew, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a channel not on medicine, but on all the other aspects needed to live our medicine lives. Today, we're going to be talking about an extension to the video that we had yesterday on index funds. So today, we're going to be talking about exchange-traded funds, what it is, why it's important to know, and how we can utilize it. So similar to index funds, an exchange-traded fund is a type of investment that holds a basket of securities, such as stocks, bonds, or commodities. The fund is traded on an exchange just like a stock, which means that the value of the exchange traded fund is determined by the market supply and demand. So in the previous video, we talked about the index fund as something that is tracking the portfolio of securities, while an index ETF would be essentially that tracking, or that index is tracking it can be traded like a stock on the stock market. That's what an ETF is. And so it's even more efficient and if not liquid, because if you're on a public stock exchange like the Toronto Stock Exchange or the New York Stock Exchange, you essentially have a good liquidity as long as you have, lots of buyers in the stock market. And that's, I think, the reason for the development of the exchange traded fund, as the financial market is trying to find more and more efficient ways of using capital. Liquidity is one of its kind of main pros of holding an index ETF. So you can see in the example here, I've chosen two index funds. One is the S&P TSX, which is the Canadian Stock Market Index Fund, and the S&P 500, which is an index fund or an index ETF. And so, this is not to give any advice or to say that the S&P 500 is better than the TSX, but essentially you could see that similar to an index fund, you can buy and sell this ETF on the stock market, and you can use your brokerages to easily do that. And so one of the main, why do we have to know about ETFs? One of the main advantages of ETFs is that they offer diversification similar to the index fund. By investing in an ETF, you're buying into a basket of securities similar to the index fund rather than just one stock. This can help to reduce the risk of a portfolio, as the performance of one security will not have a large impact on the overall performance of the ETF. Again, very similar to the index fund. The other advantage of having ETFs is that they're typically less expensive than actively managed mutual funds. And this is because ETFs are not actively managed, because they are similar to the index funds. They don't require much fund upkeep or a fund manager to make and buy and sell decisions. And so it's essentially, I would say that when you're buying an index fund, I try to make sure that it is an index ETF, although an ETF is sometimes variably used in the financial market as an index fund. I would confirm on that by reading the fund fact sheets or reading the various documentation, able to choose the correct vehicle. If I can use an analogy, it's like basically, going to the car dealership and buying a Toyota RAV4, for example. And if you were to buy, the XL model, the XS model, or the limited model, that's essentially how you're getting into the nitty-gritty of these financial markets. I don't know if it's a good analogy, but I'm going to stick with that. So how can physicians use ETFs? So it's, again, very similar to the index fund strategy. So it can be a great way to build a diversified portfolio without spending a lot of time researching individual stocks. You can now choose an all-in-one ETF, for example, like XGRO, which is an 80% stocks around the world, 20% bonds, mainly located in Canada. And it's an iShares all-in-one ETF that you could buy, and is shown on a site called the Canadian Couch Potato. And it has grown in assets under management, or it has grown in popularity because it's a simple passive investment. You can get a brokerage account. So you want a registered account or a non-registered account, you can essentially go and click one button that basically says, buy 80% of the world stocks, 20% of Canadian bonds, in one ETF. You can choose an ETF, however, that tracks a specific index. We talked about the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial, and there's thousands of these days. You can find an ETF on literally everything these days. If you wanted a healthcare tilt, or if you wanted a marijuana tilled or tech company tilled, whatever you want. Obviously, you need to, if you're doing self-directed investing, you got to do your own research, or you could use your financial advisor. So ETFs offers flexibility, liquidity. They're traded on exchange. You can buy and sell them anytime during market hours, unlike mutual funds, which are priced only at the end of the trading day, which is called the net asset value. It is important to remember that ETFs do not guarantee a return and can fluctuate in value. It is always important to consult with a financial advisor if you don't know what you're doing or before making any investment decisions. So in conclusion, as we're just past 5 minutes, ETFs can be a great option for physicians looking to build a diversified portfolio without spending a lot of time researching individual stocks. They offer diversification, lower expense ratios, liquidity. Remember to consult with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions to know your risk tolerance and assets. So on that note, a few action items. If you'd like to follow the exact frameworks used by affluent physicians to take back control of their time and money, then check out the link in the description below. I make these videos because I'm passionate about fighting burnout in 10,000 physicians through financial literacy and a few more parameters. But this is part of my legacy to teach my family as well as physicians on financial literacy. Come and join my free Facebook group of like-minded physicians where we share resources like cheat sheets, calculators, and everything in between to live the best medicine lives. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for taking care of your patients. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, all the good stuff. I'll see you in the next episode.